Good morning, everybody. It's your boy Hop Sing from the Ponderosa, aka G. How y'all doing? Check out my cup this morning. Hallelujah. I'm gonna tell you how I did it. So there it was on this street corner in Parma, Idaho, man. The crossroads of my life, I call it, because it was 1979, and I was a fugitive twice for the second time in my life. The first time I beat it miraculously, right? And the second time, here's what happened. But before I do that, I want to talk about the cup before I forget. This cup was given to me by a gentleman by the name of Mario Moncada. All right? Mario got me this cup, brought it to me, and he says, Gilbert, I want to tell you a story of what happened in my marriage. And he told me his story, and it was so powerful, man, about his marriage that I was going to have him on live today, you know, so he could share it. But I go, no. I don't want, I was going to put him on for 2 minutes just to briefly share it. I go, no, I can't do that. So we're going to bring him, and I'm going to start doing stories like that. People, if you're gonna give me a cup, give me a story in a cup, and then I will share your story. You know what I mean? And you can give it to the battered women's shelter after we donate them. So anyway, back to the story, guys. And Mario, I just want to thank you. I'm gonna bring you on and do your whole story. I'm gonna do a half hour with just you. But I want to thank you, Mr. Mongaya, for this, and I appreciate it. So this corner that I'm talking about, my mom, because I was born in Parma, Idaho, right? And I would always go back there to hide out. Throughout the years, I went back there in the second. I mean, that was my go-to. My grandma, that's where my grandma lived. So my mom was telling me that my dad used to stand on this corner right there. It's a little town of 2,800 people. And he was out by Chuco, leaning back. Because, yeah, your dad stood on that corner all leaning back, like, you know, checking out the cars going by and everything. So a few months later, I'm going to sell some stolen goods at the bar across the street. And I had to wait till the cars, you know, pass by. So I'm waiting on that corner, and I'm leaning back. I got my headband on, my T-shirt, leaning back, all cholo, you know what I mean? And this voice told me, this really loud thought. It says, look at you. Look where you're standing. Look how you're standing. And I stopped, and I look. I go, oh, wow. I was standing on the same corner my dad did, and standing like he did, you know? And the voice said, if you don't, you're walking in the same footsteps that your father did, and if you don't straighten out your life, you're going to end up just like him. And that scared the daylights out of me, man, because my dad was murdered. My dad was murdered when I was 9 years old, and I remember when I told the class at show and tell, because that's all I had to say. That was, you know, I didn't have nothing to show, but I told the kids, I showed them a little article when they found my dad's body and how they killed my dad in December of '71. And they didn't find his body until March of '72 in Saginaw, Michigan, in a ditch outside of Saginaw, Michigan. The snow had melted. When it snowed, it covered his body. When the snow melted, some construction workers found it, and the body was so bad, decomposed. They said that the gentleman that had to identify him, they said he was never the same anymore. It was that bad, and they never found his killers. So I was terrified when I heard that voice. So I just looked up to heaven, man. I raised my hand, I go, Dad, I need your help. I need your help so bad. I don't know why I even looked up to heaven, because I didn't know nothing about God's voice or nothing like that. I didn't know nothing about that, how you hear God. I know now because I didn't know then, but I just like, I need your help, man, because I don't know how to be good. I didn't know how to be good, man, you know, so. And then this lady was talking to me over there, you know, and this is why, bro, you got to listen to everybody. You don't know. This was a little white lady, man, who took me and told me that I can be whatever I wanted to be, not to listen to no for an answer. Don't listen to my own thoughts. Don't listen to nobody telling me I can't do something. When I have a dream, you can believe it and achieve it. All that stuff. She instilled that and empowered me, right? So I promised everybody there in that place, and I told everybody, I go, I'm not coming back here again till I become an actor and I make it as an actor. I promised her, because I determined I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to chase my dream. I always dreamed when I was a little kid. I used to tell my mom when I was a little kid, Mommy, someday I'm going to be on that TV. We'd be watching TV, a little TV in her room in St. Louis, Michigan. And I would say, Mommy, I'm going to be on that TV someday. You watch. Someday I'm going to buy you a house. Someday I'm going to what did I say? I'm going to win an award someday. I'm going to give it to you, Mommy. I used to promise her, right? So I said, I'm going to do it. So I said, when I go back to LA, I'm going to get into acting, right? So I came back, and you don't understand, I was already a fugitive, man. I was wanted still. I was going to do 3 years. The first time I beat the case miraculously. This second time, I'm not, you know, I got no chance. So the judge, they finally arrested me, and the judge, I stood in front of the judge, right? And he goes, okay, well, because I had just turned 18. I had just turned 18, and all my crimes were juvenile crimes. So, you know, they couldn't try me as an adult. They tried me as a juvenile. But still, that was 3 years. Those are a lot of crimes. They were bringing them all back. And then the judge said, He's reading right when he's going to sentence me. He goes, okay, I see here that you haven't been arrested in 18 months. Oh, that's because I was gone. And he goes, and I see that you're back in school, because I enrolled in Poly High School. I got back in school, right? And I got into an acting class, right? And he goes, and I see you're getting into act. And he goes, you got an acting class here. I go, yeah, I want to be an actor. I want to get into that. He goes, really? I go, yeah, I've always wanted to be an actor since I was a little kid. And he looked at me and he looked at the paper. He goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, I'll make you a deal. If I let you go, and if you do become an actor, and if you ever make it famous, do you promise that you'll come back and give me your autograph? I said, yeah. And he goes, okay, bam, case dismissed. He let me go, man. He let me go. And it's cool. And then so, this is why there's so many stories, man, that, I've been meeting people that are coming up and telling me their stories. And today I'm going to be taping a girl. I'm going to tape Mario Moncada. I'm going to do Mario's whole story. I'm going to do a half hour and I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel so that people can see these powerful stories. And I'm not rushing through those. And I met a girl who did time. Her neighbor was that girl, one of the killers from the Charles Manson people, the Kernwinkle. And she was another famous murderer and another famous murderer were all her neighbors, because this girl was crazy. This girl was like, she used to run this yard, you know what I mean? Anyway, I talked to her yesterday, man, and she was sharing me her story. Oh, dude, she was telling me some crazy things that I didn't know about. And I've done over 50 prisons all over the country. And she was telling me some stuff about women's prison that I never, ever, ever knew. It was powerful. And I'm going to do her story today. We're going to tape her today. We're going to do it. And I'm going to tape so many stories. And guys, listen, that's what I'm saying. If you want to send me a cup, remember, we're going to collect cups and donate them to homeless women's shelters, right? And the first batch that we're going to donate, it's going to be in honor of Rita Aleman. She's one of my friends on Facebook here. She's a comedian too. But that was her idea. So we're going to give her the cups and let her take them to the women's shelter of her choice. And so we're going to try to raise another 20 cups in somebody's honor. And same thing, you can donate them to whoever you want for your choice. So that's what we're going to be doing, guys. And I just want to thank you guys, man, and I hope these stories are inspiring. They're inspiring a lot of people, man. Even if it's not for you, share them with somebody who needs it, man. I hope, you know what I mean? You guys have a great day, man. Have a G day, man. And don't forget, watch my night show. It's coming out pretty good. I'm developing it. It's getting gooder and gooder, eh? Have a great day, man. Right, baby, go be a blessing, man. Love you guys, baby.